Hello and welcome to the JM Sheriff Show, where stupid people start talking later than they'd planned on. But as luck would have it, I do have a somewhat good reason. I was on Skype an hour ago, talking to an old friend I needed to catch up with. I guess he's doing okay. He'd been having health issues for a while now, and from the sounds of things, I guess he's doing better now. Got his various meds and everything all changed up, and I guess that really helped. Which is a good thing. I'm glad he's doing better now. But I guess the other big news of the week is I still haven't figured out getting Mixlr how to work. From the looks of things, the last update didn't work out or doesn't work on Windows Vista, but that really doesn't come as much of a surprise because, well, Vista's like four versions back for the Windows operation or the operating system, and I guess they maybe don't support that quite the way they used to. So, anywho, I'm still, working on getting that figured out. Hopefully, it's something I'll be able to do in the next couple of weeks. Because like I was saying, last week, it's not necessarily that I don't like, doing video. It's just that it's not necessarily the thing I'm most comfortable with either. So, anyway, I'm still working out getting this new schedule for stuff all worked out. So hopefully we'll be able to get some of that sorted out anyway. But anyway, there's really not been as much going on this week as there had been the last couple. So I'm kind of at a lack for actual things to talk about here. So I'll just, kind of keep this week's recorded version anyway short, and, move on to the, I guess we'll call it kind of a new feature. Don't know if this will be a too terribly regular thing, but, last week I, talked about a, piece of fiction I read off of Furaffinity by crap. I forget the. You'd think I'd remember the person's name, but I really don't. Fortunately, I was smart enough to save it. It was a piece by a fellow from Furaffinity called the Gravekeeper. It was The Joys of Music. Which was still a pretty good story. Like I was saying, it kind of ran into the same, or what I would say, so it seems to be a fairly common trap in that, or at least it is for me, in that I think the author kind of lost his or her way partway through the story, and you know But I know I've been doing that a lot in my own fiction writing of late too. Excuse me. Don't know if that's allergies or cold or what, but I've been kind of dealing with that lately too, which is kind of making things a little more difficult than they need to be. But anyway, the one bit of writing or the fiction that I've come across in the week since that has sort of stuck with me is a piece called "The Rights of Many" by it's NAF45 is the author's name. His, well, I'm assuming this is a he anyway. It's multiple character transformation. They like transform into other characters of different genders in this case. It's one of those things where I'm not entirely sure I understand or see the appeal. It's one of those things where he admits he had writer's block when he did this. So he says he didn't want to do another uh, quickie spam. Uh, so he has what he calls his paint shop universe that he hadn't used in a while. So it seemed like a fairly well written story for what it was. I will admit I don't quite see the appeal of this whole transformation gender swap thing, but from what I've been able to tell, it's a fairly popular thing. Uh, but anyway, and in this the rights of many thing here, I guess he has his paint shop universe. I don't know if it's something he or that NAV45 came up with, or if it's um, something that is from like a show or something I haven't heard of before. But basically, in this one, there's this improv group that's out of work because apparently they're not very good at what they do. So they take up or they respond to this ad that's looking for actors to film commercials or something, and basically they go in there and the owner of the I guess it's called the paint shop, puts the various paint on them and they turn into. Yeah, I'm actually reading a lot of this off the actual Furaffinity page here because, well, I'd have to say, well, I'm neutral on the subject matter, kind of. Not my thing, but I see how people like it, and it's all right if you're into that kind of thing, and it's certainly a well enough written story. But my one, big thing here is that see, I'm gonna like hold up the first page I've got printed here because I don't know how to do a screenshot, but what you're looking at here is page one, and you'll notice that there's no title or byline on here, which is kind of it makes for, especially if you're going to do what I'm doing here, it makes it a little difficult. You have to try to remember what the story's called and who it's by. Um, the Like the one I did by the gravekeeper last week, and the one or two I'm thinking I might do next week if I actually do a story talk like this. They actually put the story title and their pen name on there, which is kind of a helpful thing. But anyway, I just trying to think if I actually talked about the actual story here. But anyway, um, this like I mentioned before, it's not really my kind of thing, but it's actually an okay story, all things considered, about this improv group that wasn't necessarily the best at what they did, but they took up this ad that was asking for people to come in and do like improv stuff, and the owner of the place put the did whatever it was that like made him transform into. Um, I'm really not sure how popular these characters are overall, because I really don't have as much contact with others as you might think. But anyway, the characters we have are are heroes. I guess you could call them. Not sure if that's the right word that they're getting turned into. Are Crystal from Star Fox, the Space Jam version of Lola Bunny, Minerva Mink from Animaniacs, Rouge the Bat from Sonic the Hedgehog, Carmelita Fox from the Sly Cooper series, and Lucario from Pokemon. Now, the interesting thing here is that the first five of those, if you follow the, furry fandom genre, whatever, very much, the first five of those are all female characters, and usually that's how the sixth one is portrayed too. But in this case, they're actually doing a male Lucario, which kind of a nice change. I actually like that. But because you don't, or at least I don't see that very often. Maybe it's because I don't read as much as I should, but that's my fault. So anyway, I'm trying to work on changing that a little bit. But and another thing that might indicate that I'm perhaps not as in touch with all of this as maybe I should be. Considering what I'm doing here. But I'm just trying to look at the end of the story on my screen here. Uh, but anyway, at the end, the owner of this paint shop or paint club or whatever it's supposed to be says she's gonna have Lola Bunny do the like main commercial shoot or whatever they're doing, and have everybody else just on walkabout in the shopping mall they're at, because Lola Bunny is the most popular one of that particular bunch. Well, okay, I have my doubts about that because, well, really, Lola Bunny is more popular than, say, Rouge the Bat or Minerva Mink or any of those other really. I really don't have any good reason to doubt that, but at the same time, I still kind of do for some reason. But other than finding a little odd believe that finding it a little strange to uh, for the choice of the most popular of the bunch character there, and the lack of the title and byline here. Otherwise, I have to say that was, well, I'm willing to call it actually a pretty good story for what it was, but not really my thing. But I really recommend checking it out because if you're into like character transformation and gender swap, that kind of thing, NAF 45 on Furaffinity might just be your kind of author and worth checking out. So anyway, uh, I think that's about it for what I've got to talk about this week. So I'm gonna wrap this up. Uh, don't necessarily know if I'll get the whole Mixlr thing figured out by next week, so I'll just plan on seeing you here on uStream again next Tuesday. Hopefully, I will be on time at 9:30, like I said on my Passing Thoughts blog here when I put up my last schedule. But until then, stay safe. And I am J.M. Shearer, and I'm an idiot, so you don't have to be. See you next week, everybody. Have a good one.